when we first started. Between Assistant Prosecutor Burling and myself, he ran us through the mud a little bit.
Wow, did you hear that? I ran them through the mud a little bit. That was Geauga County criminal investigator Richard Warner. He says that I ran him and Assistant Prosecutor Burling through the mud. And this is the Chardon Pro Se, folks, your host. And this is what my channel, my YouTube channel, my podcast, and my Facebook does. Run them through the mud. All right. And I use actual court recordings. I use police body cam. I use a lot of different tools to run them through the mud, folks. And you know something? I wouldn't have to run them through the mud if they wouldn't say some nefarious shit like that. I'm just saying. But here, we're going to, I want to cut to some more audio clips as part of this podcast. This is what I do. I give you a little bit of piece of information, and then we're going to have a little discussion about this, about what my YouTube channel, the Chardon Pro Se, which I established first. This podcasting thing is like a secondary thing where I can do just audio instead of doing video, which takes a little bit of more time to edit. But we're going to do this, an audio type of way. And I'm going to bring entertainment. I'm going to bring excitement to the law, folks. And this is what I'm bringing forth in 2026. Let's take a look.
A digital footprint that has been steadily expanding across Northeast Ohio. We are peeling back the layers on the platform known as the Chardon Pro Se. The creator behind the microphone offers a raw, unfiltered diary of what happens when a citizen chooses to wage war with a multi-year, multi-tiered legal battle against an established organization completely on their own. But this isn't just a localized story about local grievances. This journey started in the Geauga County Court of Common Pleas, climbed into the Ohio Court of Appeals, knocked on the door of the Supreme Court of Ohio, and is now attempting to breach the highest legal barrier in the land, the Supreme Court of the United States.
Wow. Did you hear that one, folks? This is a local podcaster by the name of Ronald Jones. Topics of discussion. And in this podcast, I'm 1/3 of his total content, the Chardon Pro Se. And he is correct. The highest legal barrier in the land, the United States Supreme Court. And I am going to be the Chardon Pro Se, representing myself at the United States Supreme Court. So get your boots on, get them strapped in, and buckle up, because we're just getting started.
But every so often, an individual decides to bypass the gatekeepers. They pull up a chair to the counsel table completely alone. In the eyes of the court, this person is known as the pro se litigant. But why do people choose this path? Legal scholars often point out that navigating of the civil justice system pro se is an uphill battle of monumental proportions. The rules of evidence do not bend because you don't have a law degree. Judges are strictly bound by neutrality. They cannot act as your counsel or fix your procedural mistakes. To the legal establishment, a pro se party is often viewed with skepticism.
Skepticism? Probably. Yes. An uphill battle of monumental proportions, folks. Let that sink in. Being a pro se litigant isn't for the faint of the heart. You got to stick with it, even years and years of litigation. years and years of denials. They didn't want to believe me. And now, my digital broadcast, my voice is being heard. I'm sharing my evidence thanks to the internet, thanks to YouTube, thanks to podcasters, thanks to this podcast. My voice is going to be heard all the way to the United States Supreme Court, folks. So listen in on your favorite podcast network. Search the Chardon Prose on your favorite podcast network: Apple, Spotify, Podcast Addict, Amazon Music, all the major podcast networks, or anywhere you get your music. And listen in, because I'm putting the Constitution on the line.
If you believe an appellate court misapplied the law or that your constitutional rights were violated, you can file a jurisdictional appeal with the state's highest court. And that's exactly what the Chardon Prose did.
This case is about judgments obtained by way of fraud. And what you're saying is, until a judge or this court determines that judgments were obtained by way of fraud, then that could lead a swing factor into bringing forth criminal charges, correct?
If you're asking me if a...
I'm just asking you, is that your voice?
Let him answer now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
If you're asking me if a criminal investigation could go forward based off of a judgment entry or from the presiding judge or magistrate requesting the prosecutor's office to investigate something, yes, criminal charges could come from that. I don't know the circumstances related to this whole process of why we're here.
That we talked about, fraud upon the court. We talked about perjury. We talked about a lot of criminal things.
There were concerns that you had brought up during our conversation. Yeah.
With the state's courts locked shut, Redding has set his sights on the ultimate apex of American law, the Supreme Court of the United States. For a pro se litigant, submitting a brief to the state Supreme Court is like trying to land a plane without instruments. The Supreme Court of Ohio declined to accept jurisdiction, refusing to review the case and leaving the appellate court's ruling, and the financial sanctions completely intact. At this juncture, 99% of the litigants stop here. The state has spoken. The legal remedies within the boundaries of Ohio are completely exhausted. But the Chardon Prose's identity is built on pushing past the boundaries where others turn back.
And that's me, folks. The Chardon Prose, pushing past the boundaries where no man has gone before, to the United States Supreme Court without an attorney representing himself pro se. Wow. What do you got to say about that? So you better follow me. You better like, comment. Let me know that you're out there listening to my voice, because this is my digital broadcast where the feed can't be cut. And I give nothing but true court recordings. I give nothing but true evidence, actual evidence that I have obtained from the court themselves. And we're going to prove that there was fraud that ran rampant in the Geauga County Court of Common Pleas. We're going to prove that judges tampered with records. And we're going to prove that the whole regime is as crooked as a two-eyed snake. All right. Or maybe it's a one-eyed snake. I don't know. It's late. I'm tired. I'm just rambling. But this is what I got coming in 2026, because I'm back. Booyah. Cheese. Oh, one last thing, and I hope you listen all the way to the end, but this is a preview Cut the audio, please.
This is Magistrate Barbara Powell. Today is November 14th, 2024. It is 1:31 p.m. We're on the record in case number 23T619, Wesley Redding versus U.S. Parachute. Present in the courtroom at this time is plaintiff Wesley Redding, a self-represented litigant. No, what the judge admitted was there was a mistake in the prior order. That was what the judge wrote. That the judge should not have signed an order
within this court.
Frankly, in my chair where I'm sitting as magistrate, I don't care if the prosecutor files criminal charges against Humpty Dumpty.